All right, guys. I think we're live. I hope we are. In any case, it seems like on my side, I do hear myself and I do see the picture pretty well. So please let me know if you have any issues with the connection, and then we'll fix it. But probably everything will be fine. So there are few people waiting. There are few people waiting. What they were waiting for the start of the stream, and now I'd like to. Probably I will not wait for too long. Oh, thank you, Radi. I see all good. I will not wait for too long. So if you are watching this in the as a saved stream, you could just move to the starting point, which is basically now. So today we will talk about primarily Bitcoin, and as you saw from the title, from the thumbnail, we'll also look not at the current situation, but in addition to that, which we all usually do, we also try to make a little bit of a like a more mid to long term image of what to expect with BTC, and that is for December and for 2022. That was basically requested in our Telegram chat, and in fact, this is a good point. So, without further ado, let's look at the charts. I'll just remove my drawings for a second, and then you'll see that basically what we were talking about last time and 2 streams ago, the growth which we saw over here doesn't seem to be that sustainable. Basically, we did drop from 69 to almost $50,000, $53,000. And in fact, that was kind of the area which we were talking about where I would like to see strong support. And that is basically the point from where this correction, if we are about to go higher, from where this correction is over, should be over. So if this happens, then we will get this situation. So this is the end of this massive drop, and from that point we have higher lows, higher highs. So this is the signature of the rising trend. And if the price stops somewhere in between 48 to 52, $53,000, then it's still a higher low. If it goes too close to that low, particularly below 48,000, so somewhere 44, 45, I would say this is already kind of alarming, because the closer you are there, the higher probability for this move to continue. So as you see now, if we make the Fibonacci retracement levels here, then what you see is the drop from the highest point already reached 50% if we count this area as the beginning of the rise. Then the most, I would say, reliable and the most frequently occurring case as a retracement for BTC and for other cryptos, by the way, is 61.8, and it is exactly $50,000, a little bit higher. And the thing is, that area is also with this range, which I've been talking about, this sweet spot, when basically, if we again look at previous high, so this is previous high, and this is not only the peak, but this is kind of a zone. So this zone of high volume, trading volume, that is basically something like $48,000 to $52,000, and that is 41.2 Fibonacci. Sorry, 61.8. And the thing is, this is a kind of confluence, right? So you would like to see this confluence when you're trying 61.8, yes. Confluence for finding the reversal points. And this is exactly what we want to do. So, by the way, if we look at the current situation, so let me remove this Fibo for a sec. If you look at the current situation, then the lowest point around $53,000 is basically exactly the highest point of the previous high here. So we kind of are having resistance support flip, which is the regular case and the great textbook scenario for the reversal of the downtrend. And yes, after that, we had this massive green candle, basically similar to what we had on the red side. So this is a not so bad signal in terms of the reversal indeed. However, if you look at the volume is still not that impressive at all. So what I would like to ideally see is, again, I would like to see it going a little lower for the reversal. In terms of the formations, so what we have now is, I would say this is, well, you could find a wedge here, you could find a channel, that descending channel, but I would say it's still a broadening formation, and basically this broadening formation is somewhat at the point of breaking, because even if we don't consider that peak as the important peak, but those two are important. What I mean by that is, if we don't set it like that, but set it like this, still we're very close to that resistance line, and we are about to break it. So this is a really a potentially bullish scenario at that point. And the drop, basically what happened with the drop is that, we have a new craze in the traditional markets. So everything is dropping. This is because of the new variant of the virus, which was found in the South Africa, and therefore everything is in a panic, kind of an uncertainty at this point, and therefore Bitcoin also goes down together with the rest of the market. So no wonder here, no kind of a move from the Bitcoin side, which is only in crypto. It's basically everything goes all together. So and another thing about the potential reversal here, and why I would like to see the reversal from the little bit lower levels, is that we also don't see any significant divergences, which we kind of did before, but they didn't play out. So you see here we had this lower low here, and we had higher low here, and also on the TD sequential part, on a 4 hours time frame, there was a TDS red 9, which was a reversal as well, but didn't play out. So it didn't play out. We had the lower low, which is actually kind of a way for BTC to shake out weak hands, and those who try to play these types of situations. And then we had this lower low. The divergence on this lower low doesn't exist yet, and I doubt that it will. So that is the fact that it's making me a little bit less confident in the bullish scenario from the current point. So that the fact that we're actually able to go higher from this point. However, as I said, the formation looks promising. The current situation is promising, although the very possible scenario here, which will fulfill both my bearish and bullish images, is that we'll break here, we'll go to something like 64,000, and then we will test this around $50,000 area, because here we have like this previous, a little weak but still low which also was a resistance level here, so support here. So we could go there. So we actually collect a lot of liquidity, which is above $59,000, $60,000, a lot of peaks here, 1, 2, 3 peaks. So we go there, collect a lot of liquidity, and then we finally go to the area which we're supposed to go to. This is also a very plausible, and now we need to just to know how to deal with all those situations. So in terms of the trades, what I would say is, first, if you are on a conservative side like me, you probably would like to see that $48,000 to $50,000 point when there is a lot of the volume, for example, and where there is a lot of other signs like divergences, for example, or the strong green candles like this, but like together with other signs. If we do see something like this, then this is a very nice entry point, potentially moving us above 70,000, and not only in BTC but also altcoins. So that is still within the range of 1 month. So this is what possible for the trade. And what I personally would expect, this is a little beyond the statistics, so just my like kind of guts feeling. So what I think is that instead of making such obvious moves as I just draw you here, something like this or something like this, instead of those obvious moves, I tend to think that we'll continue to move within this yellow zone, yellow sideways corridor, and we'll shake people out, collect a lot of the liquidity below that zone and above that zone to make those moves more reasonable, more like valid in terms of the volume which would be included after the zone is left from by price. So that is my expectation. So basically the rest of the year probably just sideways, I think. If we look at the 4-year cycles, by the way, then exactly 4 years ago, December, what it was, 23rd or something like that, it was an all-time high from the previous cycle, and that was the beginning of the bear market, basically. Well, technically, right? And all the next year, 2018, was a bear market year. Generally, some of the people who are believing into that concept that we will get 4-year cycles, they don't want it to think that this is the end, right? And they still hope that we'll see something like 100, 150, 300K for BTC. Therefore, they say that this cycle will be longer. So I personally don't think that this is the point when the cycles play a significant role. Instead, what I think is we probably will see something very different. And in a way, 2022 is a very unpredicted year. So in fact, the way how we leave this zone, so 68,000, 70,000, or we will not go there at all, and then, as I said, if we'll go below 44,000, then it's a bad sign, and then we probably go below 40 and then even be below 30, and that would be very painful, slow, bleeding price action. This is also possible. So basically, what I would like to say is 2022 is defined in many ways by the next month, maybe 2-3 months. So I have to be very careful about what we're thinking here, what we're thinking to do. So what I would say again in terms of the trades: conservative long entry over here, conservative short over here, and if we go below 48, then there is a search time for conservative short again. So 2 shorts, 1 long chance. And in terms of the altcoins, there are still pretty much the same level. So if you look at the most of the altcoins, well, maybe except very few of them, they are still going within very narrow area. So Ether is not that strong. Well, I mean, locally it went pretty high, almost $5,000. But again, there's no like 2x, 4x recently at all. And this is pretty much the same for everything. So every altcoin does pretty much the same. And we can see that very easily by the dominance level. So dominance level is kind of same order. So 40 to 45, 46. So sometimes altcoins are stronger, sometimes BTC is stronger. So this is what we generally see here. Okay, so what I'm trying to say in terms of the dependence is that if we assume that our main asset goes up, then probably all of them will go. So I'd say that it's reasonable to do same kind of moves with the on the altcoin side as we do on BTC, right? So just maybe it has a little bit higher risk, but higher upside potential as well. So if you're a bit of a risky person, then go ahead and explore that field. If you ask me, so currently I do trade a little bit them. Only Tethys is left so far. So I did some for LTC, I did some for what was that, DOT, and what was it, Qtum, I think, and Solana, but currently only Tezos is left. And the last thing which I was going to tell you and show is SOPR. So you remember SOPR is a very nice indicator for the like a short-term reversals. So when we look at the 2017, for example, SOPR here, and others as well, SOPR was a very nice indicator for reversals if we have the midterm bull to bear, or vice versa if we have the end of the corrections like here, 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 here. This shows this pretty well. So currently what we do see with that is we basically tried to break the level of 1, and that was the point of either we are going to extend the correction or we're starting to go higher. So you see that the orange line is quite above it. So it's the first signature for of the fact that we are over with this. So we are most likely, more likely, not most likely, but more likely go higher from here. Of course, not 100%, nothing is set in stone, but this is a nice indication which we should look at. So kind of optimistic, right? Okay, this is the SOPR thing, and I had a few other things which I was going to share with you guys. What was it? Oh, on Twitter there was, not on Twitter, on Telegram there was a person asking about the divergence on a monthly time frame. So I looked at it, and in fact, well, technically, yes, technically there is a divergence. However, let me elaborate on that a little bit more. So, and let's look at some other, let's say, Bitstamp. So there you go. What you see here is there is a higher high on the monthly time frame on the price. There is a lower high on the indicator, right? 1, 2. The thing here is, although the previous candle has closed just very recently, so technically you can say that the high is formed, right? The last second high has been formed, but ideally you would like to see a second candle close somewhere lower. That would be more valid. It may already play out at this point, and that's the tricky thing. But on the other hand, we may see a green one now, then the second high is invalidated in that case. And this also is going higher, so this high is also invalidated. So technically, it is still possible that this divergence doesn't exist. Also, I'd say that on the monthly time frame, those are very tricky. So they often play out too late, or they often play out too fast, and you can't you can't trade them basically. So they might get like a sharp drop, for example, and return within 1 month. Therefore, especially bullish divergences, therefore it's almost impossible to trade. When you enter the trade within this signal, it's already over, so it's already not useful. So that's why it's kind of a not reliable, in my opinion. Well, at least hard to play. Although long term, this is again a very strong signal if we are trying to search for like strong trends, long-term trends. Right, so if we see this playing out even longer, then it's likely that we may see this developing for much longer time frame, and therefore like the prolongated corrections and so on and so forth. So sure, let's keep an eye on it. All right, that is the general thing which I was going to mention, and let's see if we have any things that we didn't cover. So if you have any questions, those who are online, please text in the chat, and meanwhile I will read that, and maybe I have something in mind that I forgot, and I will point it out. So Aradis wrote BTC is holding. All right, now it seems like all good. So let's see if we reconnected. Yeah, we're reconnecting. Okay, sorry for this little technical issue, guys. Generally, such things may happen. And now we're seemingly going back. But not so many things to cover because we just had the very few things in the chat, and yeah, I think that I covered most of the general issues with the BTC before that. Yes, so if you have any questions left, go ahead. Oh yeah, let me share this before we wrap up. So this is another idea from one of the subscribers from my Russian channel. So here is a kind of a formation which we are in now, and it looks like a ascending wedge, right? So higher high here and few points of touch here. By the way, we haven't tested yet that support line so far, and again it's close to this 53 or below 53 level, so very likely we test, maybe even like pierce it for a second and then return back. So the ascending wedges like that are bearish patterns, right? And then if we consider it as the target setup, then if we, let's say, break it somewhere here, or let's say even here, then you can see where we aim for. So that is not that crazy, but to be honest with you, I don't really like that formation because it's so massive comparing with the rest of the trend and with the rest of price action which we have. So, and it's also not so sharp, right? So much of the empty space here. Generally like 2 points of touch here and here, so we need 3, 4, and yeah, it's a little ugly. On the other hand, if you ask me, then I'm still into this double top formation, right? Double tops are quite often, and the weakness here is also signature. So I will not be surprised if I won't be surprised if this plays out, and then of course we can't go too low with that. But for the general bear market, $10,000, $15,000 is not a crazy number at all. And also, what I was going to point out here, what was that? The double top, and I forgot, there was something. Oh, okay, this thing. Probably no, not here, and not here. There you go. So those kind of fractal type price action behavior. So this is weakness showing at the top of this rise. Here's the same weakness, a very possible. So this is just the translation of this area here. Very similar, and then we had a drop, and this is kind of similar as well. So we already had the first drop. Maybe we'll have the second like here, maybe we'll have a second like here, nobody knows. But again, the similarity is astonishing in my personal opinion. So don't be surprised if we'll see something like this. All right, guys, I think that's pretty much it for today. Just some general thoughts and updates on what we have here. I think that we don't have much things happening in the chat. Yeah, so then I wish you all good profits, and I will keep you updated, mostly on Telegram and Twitter, but we'll try to do as many streams as possible. Please write your comments and messages on Telegram and on Twitter so we could discuss those later. And yeah, enjoy the rest of the week. I wish you all profits. Thank you very much for watching. See you next video. Goodbye.